Osgwelvis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast here in Sheffield. Dave Allen joins me with Dave Allen Senior. Is it Dave Allen Senior? Dave Allen Senior. How are we, Junior?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I had a really busy night, but we're going to Kings Lane. A successful night all round, so yeah, really happy with it.
I've spoke to you before in terms of kind of like a mentoring role when you've spoken about these guys. Obviously as a fighter, but tonight, is it your first full corner?
Yeah. I've trained Danny for his pro debut, and I had Jay McFarlane for 2. But this was the first one where I saw it through to the end, did the corner and everything. So it was nerve-wracking, to be honest. I was busy because I had Levi on second, Stevie fourth, and then Joe last. So been up and down all night, and but it's up there with one of the best nights in boxing, really. You know, it's up there with when I beat Brown and Webb, right up there with that in terms of fulfilment. You know, I wish I got paid the same. Do you know what I mean? I wish I got paid the same and all the rest of it. But apart from that, mate, bang up there with it, yeah.
I was going to say, people might kind of be like, surely not, because kind of just the magnitude of the stuff you mentioned, like the win against Lucas Brown. But I don't know when I was speaking to Joe afterwards, and he was telling me about kind of the 2 months he had, and then he thought of, packing it in, and then he took it up again, and I don't know, taking him to a professional debut, and then you got Stevie and Levi as well. Yeah, massive, isn't it?
Well, I'm more proud for the job I do with these, really, because I met Danny Morell at 15, and my old man, like he used to say, fucking terrible, really. And we did a good job with him. He turned pro, he's had 2 fights and won them both. Joe used to cry his eyes out every spar. And he weren't a kid, he was fucking 20. And I'm like, mate, can't do fuck all with him. But you persevere with them. You're older hand, you stroke their hair, you tell them they're great, you make them work hard, you try your best to teach them, you take them up and down the country. Me and Joe, like when I was with Danny, same with Joe, we were in travel lodges 3 or 4 nights a week in Newcastle, Manchester, Liverpool, all over the country, we're sparring, trying to make them better. And I know my old man over the years has looked at me and gone, David, you're headlining the O2 Arena and you're on the fucking backfield training these lads, what's wrong with you? But yeah, he used to say to me, what's wrong with you? You're making all that money, you're on the fucking field training amateur boxers, why are you doing that? But I'm not bothered about the money. If I was bothered about the money, I'd get fit and box myself. Do you know what I mean? So I just love it, the fulfilment I got out of watching Joe tonight. It's not an ego thing for me to say I'm a good boxing coach, I'm doing a good job. He's just a fucking nice kid, and he's living his dream. And I think, you know what? I've had my go round. I had a brilliant go round. And when I started boxing, I know for a fact my old man never thought I'd be a boxer. And the first amateur fight I was 18, I can't believe what I achieved, but I'm happy with it. I've done it. I don't want the camera. I don't want to done with the limelight of it. I want to help these do well. I want to be a good boxing coach, but more than that, I'm very happy watching how happy they are. So yeah, more. It'd be nice to win a British heavyweight title, but my ambitions now are I want to be like the Brendan Ingle at Doncaster. I would like to. I'd probably never be half the man he was, but I'd like to emulate a little bit of what he did, and what Brendan was more than boxing, because he had me for a while, and he did the same with my old man 40 years before. He made me. I was never a bad kid, but he made me more confident. And he made me a nicer kid and a more confident kid, more polite. It taught me a lot of things, and I look at like Danny and now Joe. They're nicer kids now, the brighter kids, the smarter kids have been around and seen things. I get more happiness out of that than I did beating Lucas Brown. When I look at Joe doing an interview over there, he speaks well, he's eloquent, he's confident, and that brings me so much happiness. And some people don't understand it, but I'm over the moon tonight, yeah. Stevie as well, she had 2 fights in 3 years as a pro. We've had her a year, she's had 5 fights, she's been to Spain, she's been on Matchroom cards, she's happy. Levi's busy now. I'm over the moon with it all, everything's going great, and yeah, I'd love to be a top boxing trainer, but I'm more than happy doing what I'm doing now, and hopefully one day that'll happen.
Do you get kind of a different fulfilment from seeing Dave doing what he's doing now in comparison to when he beat Lucas Brown? So obviously you'd have been bursting with pride that night at the O2, but it must be a different fulfilment you get from seeing Dave doing exactly what he's just said.
Yeah, I'm trying to work your question out, yeah. You led me there in a way. Yeah, I know what he's trying to say. It's like with Brendan Ingle, when you come from a mining village and that's all you're brought up with, and then a fellow at the time couldn't read and write, and then it's taught me boxing, and luckily I've been a lot of boxing coaches. But like he says, there's taught me respect for people, manners and things like that, and I can understand the human behaviours like being selfish and looking after your son, but I come from a mining community, and deep down a lot of them really help other people. And what's happening now, he thinks I'm going to be boring now, talk about politics like that. It's people what matter. And you can talk about whatever you do, sport or National Health Service, anything like that. It relates to people, and if you can help them like he's doing, or we're trying to do, only because we probably know a bit about boxing, we can pass it on and hopefully help people and community and everything.
And I know, obviously, you've put a lot of focus on what you just said, but I know, obviously, you've got fighters here with ambitions. I just spoke to Joe and I said to him, look, I know you're revelling in the win on your debut, but where does this journey end? And he said, I think the fun of it is that I don't know where it ends. Central area, British, European, well, and he said, I don't have a clue. But that's kind of the exciting bit. There's ambition, but it's just kind of let's have fun.
It's funny because I took Danny for an amateur fight about 2 years ago, and Joe was having his first amateur fight about 2.5 years ago, I think it was, and he got hammered by some kid. And I didn't think anything of it. Danny got boxed, and I went home. Next time I seen Joe, he came down for a session with his brother and Danny, and I thought, fucking hell, he's useless him. Anyway, a year after that, he's having his first amateur fight with me, and he struggled, didn't he? He was knackered, wasn't he, bless him? He boxed well, but he was knackered. That's 10 months ago. Do you know what I mean? And since then, he's had 3 more amateur fights. If you would have told me when he had that first amateur fight where he got beat, he'd be where he is now, mate, I'd have laughed my head off. If you'd have told me 10 months ago with his first amateur fight with me, you're going to be where he is now, I'd have laughed my head off. I would have never believed.
Can I interrupt?
Never believed it.
I find it ironic, like people like you're so popular, and Danny is popular, whatever. Joe is so dedicated. It's like opposites. What they call it?
Attract.
Yeah, because he'll put the hard work in, and you will tell him, and he will do it, and you would not do it. Now, I'm not being funny about Joe. He's put the hard work in, and he's had his first pro fight. We're not going to go over the top and say he's going to be a British champion or whatever, but he has the amount of improvement because the hard work he's put in. And some people have just natural talent, but like Ricky Hatton and all them will tell you it's hard work. And it's funny that your two are getting on along because the talent. What I'm trying to say is that it's working because he is so dedicated, where you could be that, and a lot of people look at it and think, David, if you only knuckled in, and Joe is knuckling in and he's popular because he's putting the hard work in and everybody appreciates it. I appreciate it. I won't be here, would I? We won't be spending time. You won't put up with him if you weren't putting the hard work in. Nobody.
I would never have trained myself in a million years. My old man, what I think he's trying to say is, I had loads of talent and pissed it all away. My old man, Brendan Ingle, told me he was one of the best fighters ever trained. And I was good and pissed it all away as well. So I think my old man now looks at it and he probably regrets what he did and probably regretting what I've done and what I'm doing. But I don't think like that. I'm just happy for Joe.
I only regret I wish I'd have been heavyweight.
Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.